at the 2nd Street Brewery of Milwaukee Brewing Company. It's a 15,000 square foot building that's full of brewery stuff, and then on the weekends we clean it up and invite the public in for tours. Having this place is the ultimate garage. This all started in 1997 with our brew pub, the Milwaukee Ale House, which is about 8 blocks from where we are in the Milwaukee's historic 3rd Ward.
The Ale House produces year-round 6 different brands. We can also introduce 4 more year-round brands for them. Plus we do seasonals and specialties.
One of the nice things about having the brew pub, the Ale House, is that we can still make smaller batches of things that are experimental.
We have a lot of regulars and we rely on them a lot for their opinions. We use them as a test audience. And if the recipe does really well and we brew it again, and we might very well take it and package it the following year at the brewery. Louis de Baise is a traditional ale. This is, as I said, this is what we've been brewing this for 15 years. This is our flagship brand. It's named after a man named Louis Isehold, who was killed in a bar fight in 1886. It's a true story. This is served in a Nonic style pint glass. This is a traditional English style pint. You notice the crazy thick head on it. They call it a biscuit, how it floats up there. It's an absolutely beautiful beer. This is about 5.5% ABV. Very easy, everyday drinking beer, very malty, not much hops to it. So you get a lot of caramel malts in there and got a lot of roasted and toasted malty flavors. All in all, very good just year-round drinking beer. Cheers.
Make sure you have enough beer. We're gonna have about 10 minutes before you get more beer.
It's important to have a great tour when you're doing brewery tours in Milwaukee. I mean, visitors come to Milwaukee and you better go on a brewery tour if you got a couple days in town.
Come on this way, yay!
The tour basically follows a brewer's day. So it starts in the malt area where the grain's being milled. We talk about the local malt supplier that we use right here from Chilton, Wisconsin, Breese Malting, and we talk about all the different types of specialty malts and what that means to flavor, and walk them all the way through the brew day, which is the brew house. You actually get to go up in the brew house, and there's a little break in there to talk about all our sustainability initiatives with solar and biodiesel and aluminum cans, just some of the responsible manufacturing practices that are big to our company. And then you end up in fermentation talking about yeast and ultimately back at the sampling table to make sure you get to try the beers that we've been talking about the whole time.
Oh, it's a Belgian ale with an IPA amount of hops in it. Would you like to taste it?
It dispels a lot of myths, I guess. People understand that it's made by local Milwaukee guys, a lot of home brewers. It's a very hands-on process. And to see us actually sitting there, having a beer with them, I think people understand that we're here to stay and that we're also very local.
First time I had an IPA, I was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing to my mouth? It's like, it's way too bitter.
It's sensory on many levels. We provide a fun tour. It's big for me if I can be around the tours and interfacing with customers. That's really when I get the best feedback, and that spurs creativity.
This is a white IPA. This is actually a newer style. And this is a hybrid between a wheat beer and a pale ale. And it's got a lot of hops in it. And that's kind of it's about as simple as that. So this is basically a wheat-based pale ale. We use a lot of Mount Hood hops, which are grown in the United States. We use Cascade from the United States. And I believe we use English Fuggle in this recipe. So it's got all different types of hops for different aroma profiles and flavors and bitterness. This is a delicious beer, I think.
The thing that you'll always find in our beers is balance. I mean, even when we do beers that are extreme beers that might be higher in alcohol, bourbon barrel aged, we're going to back that up with the ingredients to make sure that the overall flavor is balanced. With some of the things we're doing with tea infusions and alternative ingredients, I think you could say that our portfolio is kind of boundless right now because of the creativity of our crew.
Polish Moon is a milk stout. This particular beer, we're using 3 different types of dark roasted malt. We're using a chocolate malt, we're using a roasted barley, and we're also using, I believe, we're using a malt called black malt. And the combination of these 3 malts adds a great deal of color to the beer, but it also adds a great deal of roasted, toasted flavor. You get some hints of chocolate, you get some hints of burnt toast, which is in small amounts is actually very appealing. You also get this crazy color in this head. That's absolutely beautiful head. A nice tan biscuit. The neighborhood to the south of the Allen Bradley clock was a predominantly Polish neighborhood, and the big giant clock in the sky all the time looked like a full moon. They call it the Polish moon. Today is right now the best time to be a beer drinker in the United States, because you will never, I mean, just the options are phenomenal.
Most gratifying is when they gush over the beer. That's the thing that really is remarkable to them, is that, you know, I haven't come across one I don't like.
I get a lot of I want your job. A lot of people that actually thank us for what we do.
Milwaukee Brewing Company, we have all this responsibility around the name. We're carrying the name Milwaukee Brewing Company, so we really take that to heart and love brewing in this city.